Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Feeling and Healing podcast. Today, I am so happy to be on with Nahrin Chowdhury. She was born and raised in New York, and she spent over 20 years in education. So, thank you for your service there. That's amazing. And most recently, she started a business based off of stress management. It's called Unstressified. And I know living in New York, Noreen, as a New Yorker and hustle and all that stuff, I would just love your perspective on kind of how you transition from like that really hustle, always doing mindset to more a balanced mindset and preventing burnout because it's so hard for us, I feel, because we're always, especially to us in the Northeast, go, 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 go until like we can't anymore.
I know. I mean, it's so New York. And
It is, it is.
I know I don't think I knew any other life. I don't think I knew any other way of being. And I was living in the city for like a little over 10 years, like right in the thick of it. And so my
Mhm.
schedule was always packed. And so, sleep was not even a thing. So,
Yeah.
and there, I didn't see anything wrong with it because that's the only norm that I had until I went to California and I lived in LA and it was like I tried to recreate New York there. I tried to keep myself busy. Every day I had something to do, was working, and then the pandemic hit. And
Hmm.
we all had to shut down, which was really hard, especially because I was transitioning. But then I also started to try different things even during that time. And so started these like wellness things that I could do online and even some things in person too. But so I tried meditation and then I really liked it, even though it was on Zoom. And then I tried something else and something else. And I actually was very busy during COVID and
Mhm.
my schedule was packed. We had a lot of work to do, but then I felt better. I felt like, wow, uh, like I'm rested and I'm still working really hard. And as I got more into it, I tried more things. I realized like I could work really hard, but I also have like a healthy part of me. Like when I was in New York, I would get like a stomach ache or a headache, and it was related to
Mhm.
stress when I felt more stressed out. But that's how it was manifesting. And now it's like, well, I don't have those things anymore because I know how to handle it right away. So, I felt like I needed to bring this to other busy people, other
Mhm.
career-driven people. Like you can still be ambitious, but you can do it in a healthy way also. That's
Thank you for I will say like because I will say I'm very I resonated with your like kind of your origin story of your starting your business and your stress management because I struggle personally with that. Like what you just said, it's like you can still be ambitious, you can still get things done, but you can do it in a healthy, you know, balanced way because I don't know, I'm a millennial, so I was raised in like or not raised, excuse me. I was my first like I was entering the workforce during the recession. So that hustle, like work hard, work hard, work hard, has been so conditioned in me that, and I've tried, all the like similar things as you as wellness and meditation, not medication, meditation. And I was, I struggle with it. I really do. I struggle slowing down. It's really hard.
But also, like sometimes then life slows you down, right? Because you're working so
True.
hard, right? And so I also noticed that when I was taking care of myself more, I was more productive. So I could do those
Hmm.
things, but be more present to it.
Yes.
And then just do a better job. And so I felt better about the work I was doing. I felt better about myself. I felt physically
Hmm.
better. So I think it's worth the time. But like working with New Yorkers or when I try to talk to New Yorkers about it, everyone's so resistant to it. And me too. I mean, as a New Yorker,
Yeah.
if someone said that to me, like this is something to work on, I would never do it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a New Jersey person, but very similar in the region. And yeah, it is. And I have to think I've even been reflecting on lately that like, you mentioned like resting and making sure you're like recharged. Like I have this very, very bad like limiting belief or like connotation that rest needs to be earned. So it's like I need to do X, Y, and Z throughout the day in order to like earn sleep. And I know
Mhm.
that is not healthy. Like, because I'm not a machine, you know?
Yeah. Like even when my friends or family would visit me in LA, it was like they were just so fast. Everything was so
Yeah, they were
fast.
like, what do I do next? Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're on vacation, you're going to the beach, like slow down.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But that's just the New York way. I was the same way. But
Hmm.
we can slow down and we can take it easy. And there's a time and a place for it. When you're at
Of
work,
course.
yeah, I love the work ethic. Like you have to work hard, you have to be productive. You want to do your best job. But you can also take it easy and give yourself a break. So that's important too. We're addicted to stress, we're
Hmm.
addicted to the busyness. If you
Hmm.
ask someone like, "Hey, how's it going?" It's like, "Well, I'm so busy with this, I'm so busy with that." Like that's usually
Hmm.
fun. So we're just
Yeah.
like normalized to that, and that's not normal.
Yeah, no, I love that you brought that up because like that like yeah, like that busyness. It's like it's okay to like I feel like yeah, like it's almost like a badge of like honor people wear. Like I'm so busy and it's like it's okay like not to be busy and it's okay to slow down because even I'm looking at like my schedule for February and I'm like, "Ooh, this is going to be like a lot." And I kind of I'm like, oh, like I'm like, oh, I wish I wish I had more time, you know what I mean? But it's like there's only so many hours in the day. Um, but then that's where I guess you have to be more conscious of, making time for yourself and self-care. But I love that you brought that up that like we like as a society, I feel like we love stress. Like we like, it's like, ooh, or stress like if you like you're stressed, it means like, oh yeah, like if you're exhausted, that's a good thing, and it's definitely not.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that when we think of stress management or like self-care, it's like, well, you got to meditate or you go to the spa,
Hmm.
which is great. I mean, I
Yeah.
think everyone deserves a spa day, but that's also not the only form of it. Like you can't go to a spa every single day. It would be nice,
No,
but
I mean,
you
what that sounds very nice, but
can't. I mean, there's like little things you could do, like take a walk, make sure you're being healthy, eating well, things like that. But also, like, is your life aligned to who you are? Right? Like,
hmm
you can work long hours. Like, I didn't mind working long hours. I worked the hardest when I was in LA.
hmm
Like, the longest, 7 days a week, I was doing work. However, I didn't mind it and it never felt
it
stressful.
never felt like work.
Right, because it was aligned to like my values and to my
Hmm
mission. Whereas like if I'm working a job, and there have been times where I've worked a job less hours, but it's not aligned to who I am, it felt a lot more stressful. And so I think that we also have to be in touch with like what is it that we want? What is it that we value? And are we doing those things? And I don't think we do that because most people are in a job that they hate, you
I
know.
know, and that saddens me so much.
Yeah, and they just stick to it. And I mean, I know how that is too. We got to pay bills, right?
Of
Especially
course, yeah, of
yeah.
course, yeah. You have to, we're adults. We need, most people need to work, like, like. But yeah, I love that you brought up that concept of alignment too, because that's how I feel too, like in my business. Like I probably work more than I ever did, but because it is aligned with my values, my purpose, it lights me up. It actually gives me energy.
Mhm.
Versus like t draining and taking something away. I think that's the difference when you are doing something you don't like or not passionate about or not like isn't purposeful. It actually takes away from you. It doesn't add to your life.
Exactly. So that's when you're going to be stressed. And I don't think we really do an inventory of those things. Like, what is actually causing me the stress? Like, you can go to
Mhm.
the spa, but now if you're going to go to work the next day and you hate it, or you come back from a vacation and now you hate your job, you're not going to feel so great, even if you were in the
Yeah,
best place in the world, or if you come home and you're in a relationship that you hate, like, you're going to feel
yeah,
stressed. You're not going to like it. So I just think we have to factor in all those things and just change our life around, but we're afraid to do that. Like I know
absolutely.
so many, like
Yeah.
people won't leave New York, right? Like they just won't. But it's like, I hate the weather. I hate this. I hate that. But I know that too, because I would never leave New York. And I'm surprised that I did.
Uh-huh.
But the weather was getting to me. It really
Yeah.
made me very sad and miserable. And so now
Yeah.
it's I feel cheerful all the time because of the sun, right? But I know I needed
Absolutely.
it aligned to who I am. But I know that that's not very common, but the weather really impacts who we are, it impacts our stress too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were just talking before we got on this call. Like, I mean, like I was saying, like, I don't know how many winters I can withstand in New Jersey anymore. I love like, and that's the thing, I love New Jersey in the summer and even the spring and even the fall. We have beautiful falls, but from December to about March, oof, as you know, it's rough. I mean, it impacts your mental health. Um, and that's why, I mean, a lot of people that I know, I mean, they're older, but they, go to Florida for the winter because it's like, and yeah, you're right. You need that healthy vitamin D. I mean, it makes all the difference in your mood, in your, like just your mental health, your physical health. It's healthy to be, out and getting that natural vitamin D in warmer climates.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
But no, I appreciate like that. I like, I love that you said too that you're right. It's very hard for us human beings to either change jobs, change location. But I think you hit the nail on the head when it's like you have to listen to like that inner knowing, right? Because when I think, and this is my perception of stress, it amplifies because like, let's be honest, like we live in an overstimulated world. Like stress, I feel like stress is always just going to be there. But that's why you have to be even more conscious and intentional about the decisions you make, about the people you're around, about your environment, because we're already in 20, like we're in a very advanced society. So the stress is always going to be there. So you have to be very, very intentional about where you are, what you're doing, etc.
yeah, so when I work with a client, whether it's in a group or individually, I ask them like, what is stress? Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's
Yeah.
define it and let's get
Yeah.
to the basics. And so, a very basic definition would be when your reality doesn't match your expectation.
Mm.
Like if you're driving to work and you expected this much time for your commute, but now there's an accident or something. Now you're stressed because it doesn't match, your reality is not matching your expectation. And so now we get stressed out because maybe you got this job that you interviewed for, you were excited for it, and now the reality of it is that it sucks. Or,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, you're dating someone and, your expectation was that this person would be a certain way. It was a certain way early on, but now it's not. And so now you're stressed about it because the reality is not matching what you expected it to be. So you're stressed. But we end up staying in those situations, although it's not causing us to be happy. We don't walk away from it either. So,
Well, I mean, I would say very brave. I mean, if it gets to the point like you were mentioning, oh sorry, my internet. We were mentioning that when it shows you are like getting sick or getting headaches or stomach aches, when I think stress does manifest in physical. That's probably I would actually probably, I mean, they say stress can kill you. I mean, that's how
mhm.
dangerous it can be. But I think when things show up physically, that's for me like too, like that's my cue. I hope I'm learning to get a little bit or finding finding my stressors earlier, but sometimes when you do get like exhausted, I'm like, all right, like I need to do something for myself or I need to do some self-care. I need to set better boundaries with people because that's when I notice when things manifest to being like physical that something's going on.
But I feel like we all wait for that point
You're
where
right. Yeah, we do,
you're just
unfortunately.
like falling over and it's like, oh, you know what? I should work on my stress because now
Yeah.
I have some issue that I need to deal with. But like, why does your body have to like fail in order
For
for
you
you?
to wake up. Yeah, I don't that's a great question. I don't know why we work ourselves and get ourselves like, get to we need to like almost like push ourselves to the limit to until we like wake up and we're like, no, like, we have to work on our stress because it's definitely a challenge. I mean, I think for a majority of adults in society, for me too, and I've shared like my stress, but also too, I would love your perspective on like there also I feel like there is a healthy level of stress, right? Like, because stress like isn't always bad.
No, I mean, if we didn't have stress is normal, right? It's
Yeah.
just our management of it so it doesn't get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But it also pushes us to do something. It
Yeah.
also pushes us to be better and improve
Mm-hmm.
something, right? If we're not stressed out, we're not going to want to, be a better person or to work on an area of our life that needs growth. So I
Yes.
think we need stress, but I also think we have to recognize it and be able to manage it.
Oh yeah, I would actually like thinking of like a metaphor in my head because I see
Mhm.
stress as like kind of like like emotions. Like it's kind of like it's similar. I mean the response is an emotion, but it's like they're always gonna come up. Like it's never gonna go away. Like it's kind of part of life and it's just how you navigate it through your life. Because as you said, like, I always and I love that you said too, like you can do the things like go on the vacation, have the spa day, but if your life isn't aligned, you're gonna just get back into that like vicious stress cycle. And I always say like live a life where you like, and of course I love a good vacation. I'm not saying I don't go on vacation, but um, live a life that where you don't feel like you need to go on vacation. Like your everyday life should feel like that. That's how you shouldn't want to escape it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how I mean, that's how I chose to live my life, but also too, like I had to, similar to you, like talking about change, it's like, you changed your environment, you started a business, you moved away from what was comfortable. And I think that's another thing too. I think people like to stay comfortable and are comfortable will kill more dreams and make your life more miserable than most people think.
Because the initial part of that change is so uncomfortable,
It is.
right?
It is. It is. Yeah.
So when I moved to LA, it was hard and I went there by myself, but after a while, I mean, it did feel like vacation. I was working harder than ever, and then I had a business and but then I felt like a vacation because I was doing things I loved. I had, a great life outside of that. And so it did feel like a vacation, especially, the palm trees everywhere and the beach and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous, like, environment and weather. Oh my God, the California weather. I'm so jealous of California weather.
And now moving to Dubai, I mean, being on vacation here was fabulous, but then moving here, the first few months were really hard. I was very stressed out.
Hmm.
But I think I had to also shift my own mindset and say, I can live in this stress and just look at everything as like this negative, or I could just start to shift my life and say, okay, here are the things that I can change, and here are the ways that I can make it feel like a vacation. Yes, my
Yeah,
work is stressful. Like, yes, there are going to be these factors that make it stressful, but how can I really start to enjoy my life, enjoy my daily being?
absolutely. And then I guess, do you have any like tips? Because I always say like I feel like stress, like it definitely is like a body sensation. When you're stressed, you feel like you feel tense in for me at least, I feel tense in my body. I maybe I have more shallow breathing. Do you have any like tips, like whether it be like somatics, whether it be just mindset, like if you're experiencing like a really stressful moment to like kind of manage your way out of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to practice. I
Yeah.
think the first thing is that you have to want to not be stressed.
True.
Because I meet a lot of people and they're very stressed out, but they don't want change, right? And
Hmm.
you have to want to change. The second thing is mindset, because your mind really controls a lot of things, right? A lot of parts of your body. And so it doesn't let you get to that level 10 if you can just
Hmm.
reframe what's happening in your
Yes.
life or a situation. So I think that that can really like calm you down. And then the breathing.
Hmm.
Because we start to breathe really heavily, our body temperature gets really hot. So that those are other things that happen. So if we can practice breathing, and you have to practice it also. We think like, oh yeah, we can breathe, but then it takes a certain style of deep breath. And, it's kind of like if you're playing a game, you have to practice it so that at game time you're good at it, right? So if you practice
Absolutely. Yeah.
work, then when it comes to a situation you're struggling, then it's automatic. So you have to practice
Hmm.
that, and that's why we do that. And then just, certain things like the body temperature. You want to go outside, splash water on your face, move your body. This is not a
Hmm.
time to lay down. And just
Yeah. Oh,
go.
when you're stressed. Oh, interesting. When you're
Yeah,
stressed, you shouldn't like you should be moving. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, it really helps to like get your just the hormones going,
Hmm.
and like getting you to feel better. So, those are some helpful things in the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Because I will say too, I did not know the movement aspect of that. Because I will say the one thing that when I'm having a stressful moment, I really do. I should probably look, or ask you more like how to focus on my breath more, how to, like, because I go, that's the first thing I go to, because it helps me in the moment to just like ground myself, center myself again, and get me to a kind of a more regulated, state. That like the breath for me is so powerful.
Yeah, I think the simplest thing you can do for breath is like a deep breath, like in through your
Yep.
nose and out through your mouth. So even if you want to repeat something like that you like, or like, you know, stress out or something like that, or like calm and stress, or like a
Hmm.
phrase that you might enjoy, that could work too, or you don't even have to say anything. But as long as you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, making sure your belly is rising and falling, then you know that you're doing it right. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the simplest and easiest
The
way.
simplest, yeah. And I do try, like, when I'm having like let's say a busy day or a stressful day, I do try to, like, I think like we think of like, like stress adds up. Also, your like wellness and your self-care activities also add up too. So I try to like take time throughout my day if I'm having a stressful day to like, I call them like micro moments of like breathing, or as I said, go outside and take a quick walk. I mean, and the breathing thing takes, I mean, less than, you could do it for less than 2 minutes. I mean, it's really not like it's that much of a time commitment. I mean, and just making sure I sprinkle those in my days, I feel like helps, just in general when I'm having even, just overwhelmed, stressed, whatever the situation may be.
And like your stress doesn't go from 0 to 10. It
No, no, yeah, yeah.
So if you see yourself like, okay, it's at a 4 right now, it's rising to a 6, I think like catching yourself and saying, okay, what can I do right now to make it better? Whether it's breathing, stepping outside, calling a friend, what are the things that you could do that's possible, right? Maybe you can't do that at work, but there are certain things that might be helpful. Like for me, like I can't like just call a friend in the middle of work, but I can at least catch myself like, okay, I'm at a level 4 right now. That's not good, but maybe I can breathe and just maybe pictures of beach. And so that really helps.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get to that like serene like place. Yeah, because and like, yeah, I want to normalize too. Like stress is just a part of life. I feel like I've accepted it as like an adult. Like you get to a certain, like, when you're a kid, it's life is a lot less stressful because you have a lot less responsibilities. But once you get that hit that adulthood and you have, the whole the bills, the everything, it all adds up. And so it's always gonna be here. It's, as you said, it's just how we manage it.
Well, I also think like kids get stressed out.
True. Oh,
Like,
that is true. They do. Yeah, 'cause you
you
work with, yeah,
know?
yeah.
But the thing is that kids will just let it out. Like if they're mad about something, they just let it out. They will let you know, or they'll let the other kid know.
Hmm.
We don't always let it out. We just let it
Hmm.
build and rise. And then you have stress from here, stress from that you're just carrying maybe for years. And so I think that has a lot to do with why it hits us physically so badly and mentally too.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. I see it as kind of like sleep, right? Like I struggle with sleep. I'm a very inconsistent sleeper. And I learned this thing called like years ago about like your sleep debt, how like, if like you have like we probably all have it because we most adults don't sleep, or at least I don't sleep as probably as much as I should, and it does add up, like it compounds. So similar to stress, it like compounds over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is, is crazy. I guess this also too with working with your clients, how do you prevent them from getting to like as we talked about that like why do we do we have to get to that point of like exhaustion? Like is there anything like other than like yeah, like of course listening to your body, but is there anything like any cues that you found that like are like in general with like over like you working with all your clients that are like all right, like that person is heading towards maybe a little bit of a danger zone when it comes to their stress?
Yeah, I mean, each person needs a different
Yes,
method
of course.
that works for them. So I think we do an inventory of like what's stressing them out. We do a
Mhm,
lot of mindset work of like, okay, how do we reframe the situation? And then how do we make small shifts that
mhm,
work in life too? So maybe that person needs to take a walk every day at this time, but and that would help. Just physically feel better, but also like maybe they're stressed out about their health. So now
mhm,
that will make them feel better as well. Or maybe here's some people who support them and now they can start walking together as well. Just I think that that helps a lot. Just before they get to that point, what are the things that you can integrate into your daily life that won't be disruptive, but actually be helpful for you to prevent more stress from coming in. But I think honestly, the mindset work
mhm.
is really the biggest thing because I'm not going to be there with you to help you do the mindset. But if you
Yeah.
know how to reframe for yourself, I think that that's going to be big, right? Because we start to spiral. Everyone
Mhm.
spirals. Right, but
Yeah.
how do you keep yourself from spiraling and then kind of see the positive in it, or how to see it in
Mhm.
a way that, you know what, it's not the end of the world, or I'm not going to let it get to 100 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Reframing, and also that teaches your brain and builds new when you're in a stressful situation, like builds hopefully a new like of course this takes practice. You can't just do it once and then, this you have to continue to reframe, but that'll teach your brain and teach your nervous system, oh, hey, when I'm stressed, let's maybe go a different path than maybe the spiral path.
And you feel like you have agency then. Like
Yes.
if you feel like, okay, you know what, here's a reframe, but now here's something I can do about it also. I have some control over it. So I think that that's a big part of it. Like sometimes a situation
Absolutely.
we just feel like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, and now this is going to happen. This is going to happen. We think worst case scenario, and then the other case scenario, and now this is going to happen. This is going to
Yeah.
happen. But
Yeah.
if we
And
could
it's
just
and they might not have like all those are hypothetical. Like we're making it stressful for no reason.
exactly. So if we could just stop that and then think about, okay, what can we control in this situation? And like I said, that you have agency and control over it,
Mhm.
and I think it's empowering.
Yes, absolutely. And I was thinking of this as you were talking previously, and I just wanted to bring it up that I feel like stress is one of those things that like you get once you get it, it's like you stress about stress. And that's like why it's so difficult to even get out of it, and why like your mindset work and reframing is so important, because it's like it's one of those things. It's like when it's there, it's like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, or like, oh my gosh, like you actually stress yourself out about being
Mhm.
stressed.
Yeah, but we're so used to it, right? Like
Yeah.
situations like, oh, I'm so stressed, I have to go here, I have to go there. Then don't go there,
Yeah.
Like why do
Yeah,
you
then yeah.
but we have to shift our mindset. Like what will happen if you don't go to something, right? Like,
Hmm. If you say no, if you set a
right.
boundary, or yeah.
Are you afraid of being disliked? Like, do you have this fear? Like, what are those internal issues? But those are things you have to deal with. And so I think it's a lot deeper, but I think it's a lot of mental, like reframing and a
Absolutely.
lot of mind work. So I think first and foremost, before even the physical, like that's where you have to go.
Oh, I would agree with you. There's definitely you have to like almost like um reframe or like redefine your relationship with stress like in your brain. It's like I've had to do that. It's like I've even just in a trauma class I was in this week, like I actually like was like, oh yeah, like all stress isn't bad. Because I always have, you think like, oh, it's so negative, I don't want to be stressed, but it's like, as we were talking about, like some stress is productive, like being in that medium, I guess if you're looking at a stress scale from 1 to 10, like being at like from like a 4 to like a 6 is like, or maybe 7 out of, I forget, forgive me, everybody has their individual scale, but like being in that middle ground of stress like isn't always like isn't bad. It's actually like it's keeping you going, it's keeping you productive, it's helping you grow. So if you're in that like sweet spot of stress, is actually helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
because I feel like you need a little bit, because if you weren't like, I mean, of course, I'm all about calming your body, keeping your nervous system regulated, but I mean, I don't live in a dream world where I could just be like on vacation every day. Also, I think that would be like slightly boring. I don't know how you would grow from a place like that, but I don't know.
I know. And like I follow all these like wellness pages and
Hmm.
you see it all online. And I think people are more attuned to the fact that they need to take care of themselves and their nervous system. But
Hmm.
we go to an event and I love them too. I love these different activities that they have, like in Dubai, especially. They're really like fun activities to help, your wellness. But if we go to that, we're not taking care of it long term,
Yeah, it's
right?
like a
Like,
moment in time.
and I think like more people need to understand that you need to do a long-term investment into your nervous system. Like it's just going and still going
Absolutely.
and it's still disruptive. So
Absolutely. And I've learned, as I'm like even learning more about my nervous system and my own body, is like you need to it's as you said, it's a practice. It's not like, oh yes, I did this one mindfulness exercise and oh my nervous system's so regulated. All right, we're good. Like, no, you have to continuously do that to like it's almost like maintenance on a car. It's like,
yeah,
you need like it's like you need to get your oil changed, ever, I don't know however many months or however many miles. It's like, because your car won't run if you don't get your oil. If you do your oil change once and then you drive your car for, it's gonna break down.
exactly. So yeah, this is good.
Yeah, Noreen, this has been, thank you for opening my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't even realize about stress. And I will continue my stress struggle in life, I guess. But thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And as usual, you can find the Feeling and Healing podcast on YouTube at Feeling and Healing, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify.